Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
You know you need fiber for a healthy gut, but do you actually know how to get it? Quaker's been serving up fiber since 1877, with over 100 great-tasting, good source of fiber options to choose from. Whether you like old-fashioned oats, instant oatmeal, granola, or oatmeal squares, Quaker makes it delicious. So good. Get your fiber with Quaker. Shop Quaker's good source of fiber products at a store near you.
And we're back with me, Johnny McMurray, on the On the Spot Football Podcast. And tonight's episode is proudly sponsored by Mitchell & Wilson. Financial planners, we all know as footballers how difficult it can be to plan for the future. Setting up retirement funds, trying to invest your money, and look after all the pretty pennies. If you're interested, follow the link below. It'll take you right to it. Have a look and get investing. And we actually are back on the podcast tonight with tonight's guest. A big man who's travelled up from Drogheda. See, I'm even saying Drogheda, you know, I'm trying to be Irish. And it's an absolute pleasure to have him here. He's came across from England a load of years ago. He did win the Irish Cup back in the day, and we will dive straight into it. But it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Guy Bates. Guy, how are we, sir?
I'm very well. How's yourself, Johnny?
I'm good. That was new. You had to witness that. That was all new.
I enjoyed that. I tell you one thing, you've got a face for it.
I was thinking about taking your hat and trying to cover my hairline.
Listen, my hairline's long gone.
I would say take it off, but it's tailor-made.
Tailor-made. Tailor-made to me.
How's things?
Yeah, really good. Really, really good. You know, just, what am I retired now? I'd say a good 7-8 years, like from the Irish, like Northern Irish League, you know, and like I say, you still pop the head in, you still watch all the teams that you played for, you're looking at the results week in and week out. But yeah, you're trying to stay in touch with as many people as you can and just watching the boys, just making sure that you're still following, you know, you still want to show your support in any way possible that you can. Watched the Irish Cup final at the weekend there as well, Glenfield and Glentoran, and yeah, it was a good, great game, you know. It's nice to see go at extra time, and you know, it's good to see a former team win it as well.
To say you're more so looking at Linfield at the minute than you are probably Glenavon with success, but it must be difficult looking at it from where you are seeing Glenavon, because you've had so much success there in your time. You were there, obviously you were there twice, but the club's now struggling a bit. Like,
they are struggling, but to be fair to O'Connor, he's came in and done an unbelievable job. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean,
you were thinking at the start of the season they're done.
Thinking they're dead and buried. Like 3 months ago, you're thinking they're dead and buried. You're looking at them now and you're thinking, no, these boys have got a chance. And like I say as well, there's a bit of investment coming into the club as well, which is probably badly needed. Mm-hmm. But Glenavon is such a fantastic club. Yeah. Like the people that are in that club, the supporters, the stadium, everything about the place is top notch.
Yeah.
Like I think Glenavon is a sleeping giant in Irish football.
Yeah. Okay.
Really, really do. I think if Glenavon get the right investment, you know, get one or two sneakily good players in, you know, you could be up there challenging in Europe again.
The thing is, too, they consistently hold on to good players. Like Peter Campbell for the last 6-7 years in the Irish League has been one of the standout performers. He's never left the club. He obviously has massive ties to the club. He enjoys it. He loves it. That's somebody who you would have thought, if they're in the shit here, he's bound to jump, but he seems like he's consistently wanting to stay, see the club in the right direction.
I think that's a lot to do with the people behind the scenes. Yeah. Now, like I say, I was there a long time ago, but it's a family club. You know, you go there, you're made to feel welcome. You're in the B-Deck suite afterwards. You know, the board of directors are down there having a cup of tea and a cup of coffee with you. You know, you have the former chairmans there, Gordon Irwin, those types of boys. You know, like our former doctor now, hey, Stephen Best, he's now the chairman. Yeah. So it's kind of like a domino effect. Like someone's moving out, but someone's moving in, but it's all done throughout the club. Yeah. Like there's so many fantastic people there. I mean, we could talk about Blackie the kit man. You know, like someone likes him. Like, did he give his kidney away last year?
I don't know, did he?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he actually was reading something and he went online and he says, yeah, I'll donate a kidney. Like, he's a hero. Yeah. And he's Glenavon's kit man. You know, you had Stephen Best there, the doctor, brilliant. If we needed anything, he was there for us. You know, Lynn, like she's obviously moved on to Northern Ireland now. The youth's there with Chris Lindsay and what have you. But all those, it was just a brilliant club.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of keeps that club kind of moving in that right direction is every time someone kind of moves on, Adrian, God rest him, he unfortunately passed. But rather than bringing in someone from outside, they went and got the former doctor who was there week in and week out for years and years with us boys, and they promoted him.
Yeah.
And someone that bleeds Glenavon as well. So, he's obviously got the best for the club moving forward. And everybody else is kind of falling in line. So that's why people love it so much, because it treads so well.
You always think too, if you look at a business from the outset and you have somebody there who's consistently been there for a long period of time, when you promote from within, you keep the same values as touched on.
Absolutely. And like I say as well, the good thing about Glenavon is, the directors' wives and what have you, and the ladies there, the ladies there, they'll have you after every game you'd go in there, there'll be a bit of food there waiting for you and stuff like that. And it wouldn't just be a few sandwiches put together, they'd have hot food there, and it's same for the away team coming there as well. They would really try and take care of people the best they could. And I think that standard that they've set means now people are looking going, yeah, that's a great standard. And I could maybe go somewhere and maybe get a few extra quid here and there. But is it worth it to not be as happy? Myself and you were talking about it before, you can maybe get a few extra quid here and there. But would you enjoy it as much? Yeah. Would you enjoy going in and seeing everybody afterwards? Would you be as well taken care of? And if the answer is no, then it's not worth it to you.
I think too, it's one of those things that we were speaking about. It's like hindsight. You're trying to make as much money in a short period of time because you think that's the right thing to do. But grass isn't always greener. And there's many times I've made stupid decisions thinking financially instead of thinking happiness. And you're sitting going, I regret this.
Absolutely. And you know what it is? My little brother, he was a good footballer back in the day, and we're chatting about different things. And I said to him, I was like, hindsight's great. I said, but you can't beat yourself up over it. I was like, if you were to sit back and look at all the decisions you've made through football throughout your lifetime, all of those little decisions here and there, I says, you drive yourself balmy.
Yeah.
You'd be sitting there, you wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
No, because you'd be overthinking absolutely every decision you do ever want to make going forward as well. You'd be saying, you'd have yourself riddled with anxiety too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what it is? That's what happens to a lot of the younger lads coming through now, is they're sitting there riddled with anxiety. Oh, if I hadn't made that decision, if I hadn't moved there, if I hadn't did this. Because I left Newcastle at 19 and I moved to Australia to play. Now, should I have stayed in England? Maybe. Probably. But then there was an opportunity to go play in Australia in the A-League, like a newly formed A-League. Dwight York was going over there and stuff like that. And I was like, some opportunity.
See, if I'm in that situation, I think I would take that too.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, I get to be in the sun every day, have a bit of crack, new life, the experiences.
New life, new experiences. And the thing is as well, when I was in Newcastle for 11 years, and I was a little bit disillusioned. I was kind of tittering on the brink of being in the first team. And then all of a sudden you blink and all of a sudden you're going, yeah, mate, we're going in a different direction. And you kind of look and going, well, do I want to play in England? If they can just treat me like that, where's the next opportunity going to lie for me? And someone says, listen, you can move halfway around the world. It's a great opportunity for you. You're going, yeah, see you later, mate. Off I go. And like I say as well, everyone sits there and goes, you'll be in the sun every day and you'll be doing this and you'll be doing that. You had to start training at 7:30 in the morning. So you were up for 6, you were starting training at 7, you would go train because it got too hot throughout the day. You'd go train early, you'd get back, you'd maybe have a snooze, have a bit of lunch, you'd be back in the afternoon, you'd be in the gym or you'd be doing a stretching or you'd be in the pool, or whatever it is recovery-wise. But everyone sits there and goes, yeah, you could live a great life. But what you know yourself, when you're in football, there's no such thing as it. It's
time management, isn't it?
It's time management, and every opportunity you get is to try and make yourself a better footballer.
Yeah.
From what you're eating to how you're sleeping, how you're recovering, single thing you do. When you're there professionally, it's different as you kind of go semi-professionally, when you kind of take that little bit of a step back. But when you're there and you're playing professionally and you're in that professional environment, nothing else matters. Yeah. You could be in any country, anywhere in the world, but that football club pretty much owns you. Yeah. They own your time. Yeah. They own where you're going to be, how you're going to sleep, what you're going to eat, where you're going to be. So, you think, oh yeah, I'm going to Australia, I might sit in the sun for a few hours down the beach. None of that. Get up, get to work, get your training
done. What's your priorities?
Yeah, get yourself away to bed.
one thing I want to talk to you, and usually the way we start is like we take it right back, we strip it back,
Yeah.
right? And one of the best things about this conversation is we know that you were at Newcastle. You're an English lad, which I have to say, mate, I never knew. I thought you were from like Dublin. The whole time I was like, he's just from down south. Do you know what I mean? But we've adopted you. We'll take you in.
Listen, I'll take that. I'll take that.
But Newcastle, you're from Newcastle anyway. Upon time, you played for Newcastle consistently for a kid. You talked about there 9 years,
Eight till I was 19. Yeah, 11 years.
So you've pretty much not known anything other than your hometown club, your professional outlet from you were 10. I mean, that's insane. Do you know?
Do you know what it is? It is when you look back on it now. When you're young, it's just normal.
Yeah.
It's just who you are. It's part of your everyday life. The only thing that kind of is different, when you get to about 14 years of age, and you start playing a few years above yourself, so you know you're actually playing a bit better standard than pretty much a few of us. So you sign a bit of a bigger contract, you know, they give you your YTS early, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're going, right, you're not in school on Tuesday. So on Tuesday they would take you out of school and you go training for the full day, like whether you're under 17s.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're only 14 years of age at this point. And then every second Friday, if you're playing for the 17s as well, they'd bring you out to school, you'd go training in the morning, and you'd go down with the 17s, and you'd go and stay in the hotel the night, you'd play the game on the Saturday and back up on the bus on the Saturday evening.
Okay.
So they breed you into it very early. And like I say, I thought that was natural. So like I've spent half my life in bloody hotels. So when the wife says to me now, do you want to go for a weekend away? I'm like, absolutely not. I can think of nothing worse than being stuck in a hotel. But that's where it kind of gives you that little bit of, you know, like it's, like I say, like that's not normal. But when you're growing up, you feel like it's normal.
Yeah. Because you don't know any different.
You don't know any different. But the good thing is as well is it gives you so many life lessons as well, being around so many different athletes, you know, because they're athletes and the mindset of them, you know, they give you so many snippets for your life, and, you know, like stuff that you bring forward and stuff that I'll use forever. Like we were in a tournament in France and we're doing really well. And it was breakfast time and coming down for breakfast, and breakfast was 8 o'clock. I showed up at 2 minutes past 8. And Peter Beardsley and Kenny Wharton were my coaches for a lot of it. Brilliant coaches. And Pedro looked at me and he goes, "You late?" I said, "Yeah." "It's 2 minutes, you know, it's grand, you know." He's like, "How dare you disrespect me? How dare you disrespect your teammates?" He was like, "You are playing today." He says, "You're not now." I was like, "What?" I was like, "For 2 minutes late." He was like, "Yeah." She's not playing. I was like, "It's 2 minutes. It's a bit of breakfast, you know." Like, in my head, I was like, "Oh, who cares?"
Yeah.
But what he did to me that day, right, is he sat there and went, "You're not playing, mate." Right? I'll never forget it. So I went and seen him afterwards. I says, "You're not really going to drop me, are you? Like, I'm playing well, you know. We've got a chance to win this tournament." He's like, "Absolutely." He's like, "You'll sit on that bench. You'll be the best cheerleader you can be." He says, "And if we need you, you better produce." So he just literally said, like, so now, like, my wife hates it. Everywhere we go, I'm half an hour early.
Yeah.
I've, like, played up at Glenavon for years, and I used to travel down from Drogheda. When I played for Linfield, I was living in Dublin. I used to travel 2.5 hours. I was never late. Never late. Never late for a training session. Never late for anything. Never late for a game. I just, it's going to take you an hour to get there. I'd give myself an hour 45 just to be on the safe side. Yeah.
See, I only do that now recently. And the reason is because I almost lost my license. So I was like, sharpen up. Let's not lose a license. You've got your coaching business. You need to drive a car. Like, yeah. And it was like, I would say it was my fault. It wasn't really my fault. Like, I forgot to insure my car. Simple mistakes. It happens. Cost me 2 weeks. And I was like, I could have lost it for a year. So now, usually ever since, I will leave. And I'm like, I can't afford to, like, why not just sit somewhere 15 minutes previous? Like, if you don't need to be there, just chill.
And that's it.
Go and sit in your phone, scroll, and, like, you're in no rush. Like.
Yeah, and it's easy to just stop off somewhere, grab a coffee, and there's no worse feeling than feeling like you're going to be late and driving somewhere. kind of having that sickly feeling and
Yeah.
rushing feeling inside you. So I said, give myself half an hour. Listen, if I want, I can stop off, have a coffee. Even now when I'm at work now, it drives me mad. Some of the youngsters coming in and they kind of say their shift starts at 12 o'clock and they show up at like 10 past. And I'm like, look and going.
Yeah.
Like someone else could have something scheduled in there.
Yeah.
And they're having to wait on you. And then all of a sudden it's a domino effect there. Are they getting that, the time that they've paid for and everything else? And I just think, like just give yourself a little bit of time.
Plus the way it looks professionally
Yeah.
changes. And once you start to realise that, you're like, I look better for showing up on time.
Yeah. And not only that as well, it was a great thing because it just showed me like, didn't matter who I was.
Yeah.
It didn't matter the fact that I was having a great tournament. Didn't matter the fact that I think I was captain at the time as well. Didn't even matter the fact that I was captain. Like, he made an absolute, I wouldn't say a show of me is not the word I'm looking for, but he made an example out of me.
Yeah.
As if to go like, I don't give a shit who yous are, who yous think you are. This tournament's not important to me. What's important to me is respect that you show your teammates.
Yeah.
The respect that you show us as coaches. And learn to respect your trade. Like your breakfast is on at 8 o'clock. Be down there ready to eat at 10 to 8. You know what I mean? Like, be there, like, go down, have a cup of tea, whatever it might be, or have a glass of water. But get yourself in that position early.
Yeah.
And then have the respect then, and then all of a sudden start that day on the right foot. And it's something that's stuck with me from such a young age, but it's affected my whole life moving forward. And I honestly think it was one of the best lessons I ever had, was just like, listen, I don't care how good you are, mate.
Yeah.
Like, we can drop you. Like, this tournament isn't important to us. You becoming a better person, a better footballer, that's more important to us.
Let's not talk about the fact that it's Peter Beardsley as well. That's not normal either. Like, he's an absolute legend, and you're going, like, he's taught me one of the biggest life lessons, but he's also a complete legend. And he's your coach from such a young age. Like, even you probably knew that at the stage. Like, you probably obviously knew who he was and the stature he comes with, but he doesn't become, you probably don't see him in the same light because you're like, he's just my coach now.
The problem is you know who he is and you love him.
Yeah.
And you love him as a person. He's a fantastic person. He is like a great, great man. But the problem is when you're playing there and you're being coached by him and you're being coached hard, there's every so often you'll turn around and you'll be like, oh, but you just off, leave me alone. Like, and then you go home and you're like, Peter Beardsley, I'm talking to there. And in your head, you're like, dude, what the hell am I doing? But he was brilliant. He would join in training, and some of the stuff he could do, you were looking around going, this man could still play.
Yeah.
Like, he could actually still play. He was absolutely majestic. I mean, he was one of England's greatest ever footballers. Mm-hmm. And he was there coaching us, and he'd give us great life. And mind you, he was tough on us as well.
Yeah, sure.
He was calling me a stupid all the time. By the way, I deserved it. I absolutely deserved it. He was like, oh, fuck's sake, guy, I'll kill you. I was like, yeah, I get it. I deserve it. But he was so fair. If you deserved to play, he played you. Yeah. Like I say as well, if you deserved to be dropped, he dropped you. And as good as what he was, as talented as what he was as well, he was brilliant. And like I say as well, Adam Foley, a good friend of mine now, he's coaching Drogheda on the 20s. And we talk about his team, how they're getting on, all that type of stuff. I haven't been to see them play yet, but I'm asking, and one of the things I said to him, I was like, do you know, I says, going back to Peter Beardsley, I says, do you know what he used to say to us? Just win the battle first.
Yeah.
Win the battle, then your football can do the talking. He said, it doesn't matter if it takes 10 minutes, 60 minutes, it doesn't matter if it's 95th minute and injury time. Win the battle, chase, harry, turn them, chase them into corners, like, do everything you can, make their life a living hell. And then when the one chance comes, just make sure you're there and you're ready to kind of pounce on it. And I was kind of talking to him, and he was like, these boys just want to go out and just think that they can just play.
Yeah.
He's like, they haven't earned the right to play. So I was kind of going, do you know what it is? I was like, Peter Beardsley, I says, one of England's finest ever footballers. Like, I'd say he's probably top 5 all time.
Probably, yeah.
And he's sitting there and he's looking at you as a youngster and he's going, chase it. I don't want to see you come off yet. Like, if you've ran yourself into the ground and you give me 70 minutes and you give me everything you've got, and you look at me and go, I've got to come off. He's like, I love that.
Yeah.
He says, I would rather you did that than kind of not chase a ball there and go, well, I'll get the 90 in. And again, I'm looking back now and I'm like, that's so good advice. When you're young, you just live in it. You, like they say, you don't really realise who it is and what you're doing. You know, you said you're a huge Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of sitting there talking about one of Liverpool and Newcastle's greatest ever footballers. And you kind of look and you just think, but he was there every day. And then his standards never dropped.
Yeah.
Like, and the main standard that he had was, you's better get out there and you's better outwork everybody. You know, I don't care if you aren't as technically good. But go and outwork them, go and outthink them, go and outbrave them, go and put your head in where it hurts. And then, if you get a chance, let your football do the talking.
Before we move on, what do you think's changed? Because that doesn't seem to be the way at the minute. Kids are different now. Is it social media? Is it the way they think football is? What do you personally think is the difference then? Is it management style? Is it us as players going into coaching thinking we need to do this because Pep did it? Or what do you think it is that's a big change?
Bit of everything, probably. You've done your coaching badges. I did mine when I was young. And I remember we were talking to someone and they were like talking about doing stuff and I was like, this is ridiculous. One of my boss at work, he's teaching the kids these days and all the kids have to play a certain amount of minutes and, you know, you can't, like, if the kids show up with dirty boots now, you can't make them run a lap. And I was like, why? It's a bit of discipline.
Yeah.
Make them run a lap. You show up with dirty boots. Run a lap. Your water's free. Get in there, give it a clean, you know. But social media has a lot to play in it as well. I mean, most of the young lads these days, you know, that like when I was young growing up, you know, like people knew who you were because obviously you are doing well. They might read about you in a few of the papers and stuff like that. Like, these young lads have got like videos of themselves up. They've got stats of themselves up. You know, and a lot of it's for likes, you know, like likes and comments and all that type of stuff.
Like fueling an ego.
Yeah, fueling an ego and all that type of stuff. And then I feel like football's got a bit softer.
100%. I feel like I'm probably drowning out saying the same thing over and over again, but I completely agree.
I loved getting hit.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird, but could you imagine the likes of Winky Murphy playing this day and age?
Yeah.
He'd be an animal.
Oh.
Like he'd growl at the boys and they'd run 5 yards away from him.
He would also be red carded every week.
He would. But to be fair to Winky could actually play a bit as well. Like, it wasn't until I played with him I realised how technically good he was. Winky was a really good footballer, but the likes of Winky, he was so brave. He would put his head in where it hurt. Like, even the likes of, for instance, like, going back to Newcastle, the likes of Alan Shearer, Gary Speed, those boys, they would put their head in anywhere.
Yeah.
Those boys, like, when that ball got whipped into the box, they were up, they had their elbows up, and they would head your head into the goal.
Yeah.
They would smash into you and smash anything just to score, just to get there.
Coaching wise, back in the day, that was what was normal. And I talked about this a couple of weeks ago with Alan in regards to goalkeeping. I always remember that if you're going to go in for a ball as a centre forward, you're going to try and win it. You're going to try and score a goal. But you have to realise that a goalkeeper's coming out and a smart goalkeeper's probably putting a knee up to smash you with a knee, or he's going to punch you.
Yeah.
If he's going to miss the ball, he's hitting you to make sure that you don't score. That doesn't happen anymore.
No, it doesn't. And
even for protection for a goalkeeper, like, I thought that's not, like, I don't know if they still do. I'm not a goalkeeper, but
I don't know, but I took a few knees off goalkeepers. I tell you how far it's changed. We used to play reserves v first team. When the first team had a big game, they would do a bit of possession, all type of stuff. I'll never forget, Alan Shearer kneed me in the arse. He came and played centre half one of the days because I was actually doing all right. And I used to always stand in front of the centre half. He gave himself about 10 yards, right? Got the brain till the ball was pinged, ran up, kneed me in the arse, elbowed me in the back of the head, won his header, right? Knocked it about 60 yards down the pitch, I must say. Turned around, walked in, laughing his head off. Couldn't wait to tell the reserve team manager I'd done Batesy today. I said, for fuck's sake. But that was it. I was like looking at him going, I'm going to try and get into your place eventually, you know? And he's looking at me going, I'll show him why he's in a bad position.
yeah.
So if he's in a bad position, I can come in and mill him. I'll come in and I'll mill him. Now, it was good for me because now whenever a goal kick was going, I used to stand behind the centre half.
Yeah.
And I used to go,
I'll get there first.
not only will I get there first, I'll watch you flight to the ball and I'll be able to put my body in.
Yeah.
So what it made me do then, it made me sit there and go, I watch Alan Shearer every day in training. I train with him every day. I watch him every week on a Saturday. How come he never gets smashed like that?
Yeah.
So it made me step back and go, right, what am I doing differently? How can I be better? Straight away, he stood behind the centre half. As the ball was in the air, if the ball was to the right-hand side, he'd put his body into the right-hand side. If the ball was on the left-hand side, put his body into the left-hand side. And he was so big and so strong. He just got his body and got his arm up, and he won most of his headers from that position. And I was like, it was so simple, so genius.
Yeah.
But it took me getting a knee up the arse and injured for 2 weeks to realise how good it was.
Yeah.
So it was,
I mean, not a bad person to learn off.
look, blessed. Like, my education in football, like I say, people can be bitter about things. Oh, if I only did this, if I only did that. I was so close, I was so far away. I was like, but you got to look at like the players that were around you, the players that you could learn off. I mean, you're talking about Alan Shearer, he's the greatest ever footballer. Yeah. Like striker that's England probably one of ever produced, Premiership's all-time leading goal scorer. We signed Clive there in the summertime as well. Completely different type of footballer, much more technically gifted. And he kind of was there after training, doing a few more stretches and a little bit different things. But you're looking at those two and you're going, like, they're the big boys like that. You were trying to kind of, the way you were going to play, the way you were going to try and affect the game was kind of those two. Then you had the likes of Bellamy there that was a little wavy back, who was phenomenal, whose standards never dropped. Mm-hmm. He was the best trainer. He was the angriest person there. His standards were just through the roof. I mean, you'd be looking around and he wanted to win everything. And what he brought as well was kind of, as you were walking around the corridors and stuff, he would talk to everybody. So he'd actually make you feel like you are seen there as well. Yeah. You weren't just kind of one of the...
Made an effort with everybody.
Yeah. You weren't one of the idiots with the reserves and all that type of stuff. You were actually, you know what it is, like if you do come up to the first team, you'll make an effort. Well, how are you? Do you want to come and have a bit of lunch?
Yeah.
Which is nice, which is what I
tried. Goes a long way,
Which is what I tried to bring in when I was playing, you know. If any of the young lads came up, I always tried to make an effort with them. You know, how are you? Where you from? All that type of stuff. You know, come sit beside me. Not sure I would have been the best influence.
But you tried.
But I tried. I tried and made the effort anyways.
See, whenever you think back to like the idea of you from a young age, you want to play for Newcastle.
Yeah.
And you get the opportunity to go in from a young age, play consistently, get into this environment where you're going to go full time. When it comes to you actually signing your first professional contract, that must be a complete buzz. You must be like, I'm so over it, man.
You don't even think about it. It's so, like, you're so caught up in it. You're so caught up in that life. It just feels so natural. And now I think if I was to look back now, I would make a bigger deal of it, you know. I would kind of go out and maybe celebrate and all that type of stuff. But, like, back then it was like, right, you've signed your contract, right, we're back in training tomorrow. Back to work, yeah. Back to work tomorrow. Like, you're looking at the players that are ahead of you. Like, I've only named 3 of them there.
Yeah.
Like, the players we had were phenomenal. Like, absolutely brilliant. And I look back now and I go, do you know what it is? Like, we had all these great players and we were signing great players. We even had great youth players there coming through as well. And you're looking going, I was still top goal scorer in every category, you know, 17s, 19s, reserves. I was there, I was playing week in and week out. Like, you were so close. But then again as well, you're still a million miles away.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of say to people, you know, like, how close were you? And you go, well, you don't know. Because one of the young lads that played with me, Lewis Guy, he came on against Sporting Lisbon UEFA Cup. 2 days later, I scored 2 in the reserves. And the reporter saying to me, oh, listen, do you think will you get called up to the squad, first team squad for the weekend? I'm like, yeah, I'm hoping to. 3 players come back and all of a sudden you're back down to number 20 on the net.
You really do need like a lucky break, don't you?
You need
so much luck.
Yeah, you need luck, but then when you're there, you need to take that.
Yes, 100%.
You need to take that chance. Like, so many people get lucky and they kind of get in there and they don't grasp that opportunity.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if I had got an opportunity there, I don't think I would have given up.
Yeah.
I think like people would have like thought I was a madman, like running around and trying to like win every ball and, you know, harry every defender, you know, try and win every header. I would have done anything. I would have done anything to make sure that it turned on and goes, he might have played poorly, but by God, he gave us everything he had.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of the things that I took in as I kind of got older. Might not have been the most technically gifted. I certainly wasn't the quickest. I definitely wasn't the quickest. But I like to think most defenders, when they came off, they were like, Jesus, we went for a game today. You know, he put himself about. You know, he took us into positions we didn't want to be in. He tried to create something. You know, and I think supporters kind of appreciate that.
Yeah.
As well. You know, one thing I always said was I might not have played well, but I would have still give you everything I had.
Yeah.
It's the Paradise Podcast.
I am your host, Ryan Michelle Bethay, with my husband, Sterling.
What's up?
Join us here on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus, where we'll discuss each episode with the cast and crew of Paradise. I'll be getting all the secrets from Dan Fogelman, James Marsden, Shailene Woodley, Julianne Nicholson, and Sterling Kelby Brown. Woo! Paradise, the official podcast, is now streaming.
And stream Paradise on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus.
See, whenever you're there and you're on that fringe, and the reason why I stick to it so much is because I never had the opportunity to be a part of like a full-time setup in England or Scotland. And it resonates so much with me in a way because I kind of live through the stories of everybody else, because you're teetering on the edge of making something that you've always wanted. Mentally, whenever that doesn't come, how does that affect you? Especially being
like a local lad, yeah. Well, that's why I ended up in Australia. That's why I didn't stay in England. Like, there was a part of me that was kind of really frustrated. You know, I've worked 11 years for this. I've done everything I could within reason. You know, I was, like I say, I think I left Newcastle in the February of the season. I still finished the reserve team top goal scorer that year. There was a lot of moving parts that year as well, which was, it was very frustrating. You know, we lost Sir Bobby and Souness came in, and it was just, I think we were in a tournament in Italy. Yeah, we were playing in a tournament in Italy in kind of the December, January time. We came back, and all of a sudden you turn around and there was like 6 or 7 new players. You know, Babayaro came from Chelsea. Stephen Carr came from Tottenham, the Irish boy. Andy Fay and Jean-Alain Boumsong for Rangers. Like, and you're looking around going, fuck, I was only gone a week.
Yeah.
Like, training session later, Boumsong has a nightmare, and Babayaro shouting, 8 million, send him back, he's shite. And you're looking going, what the fuck's happened here? And then you're looking at the players coming through, and you're looking at the players there that are going out on loan, being brought back and stuff, and you're going, right, grand, like, I had a good tournament in Italy, this might be a chance. And then a few weeks later, you're having a conversation going, look, you know, I've the big lads who I've got there. You know, I've Shearer, I've Cliver there, main two big lads. Michael Bridges, who was brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, hugely talented. Shola Miyobi, another big lad. Ahead of me in the age groups was Calvin Zola McCongo and Richard Offiong, who were both brilliant footballers. Then you had your small players. You had your Michael Choppers, your Craig Bellamy's. You had an England national, Lewis Guy, who was brilliant. Then we signed James Miller and Darren Ambrose. And then
Kieran Dyer came in.
Kieran Dyer was
he already there?
Phenomenal. But he was kind of a midfielder that could play up top. And then below me, you had 2 other youth internationals as well, and Carl Finnegan and Mark Walton. So you're kind of looking going, everywhere you looked, there was quality.
Yes, yeah.
Like, so much quality. And you kind of look and you go, those boys out when Chopper was out on loan, he was always going to be a, you know, he was the darling kind of coming through.
Yeah.
And deservedly so. He was brilliant. He was a fantastic goal scorer. But I used to look and go, I can do so much stuff that he can do. And he can't do any of the stuff that I can do. But then he was such a little fox in the box. He was so clever. Talking about it before, ball dropping the 6-yard box, he seemed to be there.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, he was there. His movement was so good and he was so quick. So me and him actually played really well together. So I generally used to say, when I used to go up to reserves, I was generally going up and I was kind of the link man for him, which was grand, you know, like, and you kind of, as you get a bit older as well, you become a little bit less selfish and you start to concentrate on the parts of the game that you're good at.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was never the quickest. So, like, those little darting runs, yeah, I'd make a few clever runs here and there if the defender was maybe out of position. But I wasn't quick enough to get there. But then again, I was clever enough to go into drop in a position, drag a centre-half out, maybe get on the ball and maybe play that through pass, or maybe see a third man running from a midfielder, play that pass, and then all of a sudden next time I go out there, the defender's not coming with me. Then I can get there and get turned and start running at them. So you're looking at all these different aspects of your game and you're going, how do I become better? So I was kind of looking, going, well, they want me to be this, but I'm not quick enough to do that. They want me to do this, and I'm not strong enough to do that. So you're kind of looking at it going, well, how do I be the best version of me?
Yes.
So you're always learning and questioning yourself, and you're watching all these players come in, and you're looking, going, how do I learn from them? And I think that was the main thing that I kind of done, is I was never afraid to look at someone and go, do you know what it is? He's a good player. I like what he does there. I like that position there. I'll go and ask him, why are you in that position there? Why are you out there and stuff like that? You know, used to sit there and go like, right, when, I'm just using an example, Nobby Solano used to get the ball, and I used to watch Bellamy go out, and I used to say, why are you always linking the ball there with Nobby? He was like, he's the best passer in the ball. He says, technically brilliant. He says, I go in, pop it after him. He says, defender comes with me. He says, I can play 1-2 when I'm in behind. He says, defender doesn't come with me, guy. He says, I can get turned and win him 1v1. He says, defender drops off Nobby. He takes a touch, he whips it in the box. You've got Shearer and Gary Speed running in. I says, yeah, but you don't do it the other side with Laurent, Robert. He goes, yeah. He says, takes out his feet, whips it in. He goes, no, you're players. And you're looking going, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're watching these passages of play, and you're going, why is he over there? Why is he doing that? And then you sit there, like, and a lot of the younger lads these days, go and ask the question, why are you doing that? Like, why would you go and show for his feet? Why would you just spin off for him? Yeah, because people have different capabilities. The more you learn your teammates, the more you learn their capabilities, the better you'll play with them.
It's a very basic game whenever you're open to asking questions.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, as well, is we've almost got away from asking the questions. You asked before about the youths.
Yeah.
Like, they all text now these days. Like, I love picking up the phone, having a wee natter. If I'm driving somewhere, just picking up, well, how's things? How are you getting on? Like, the youngsters don't ask questions these days.
No. It's like a weakness. It's as if like, oh, I should know everything, but I don't. But I'm not going to ask a question to improve myself. I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing until somebody tells me.
Yeah, and that's a frightening thing about it, is you're looking at them going, why wouldn't you go and get advice from them?
Yeah.
You know, why wouldn't you go and get advice from someone that's maybe been there and done it? You know, someone that's in a position that you want to be into. Like, you're looking going, well, if I want to be there, right, ask the person that's there.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Why is he doing that? Like, is that a good position for me to be in? Because, by the way, as well, like, I used to always drift out left when I played. And then that came from me when I was playing in Belgium. So I was playing for Ostend, and we were doing well, then we were struggling, then we were doing well, and we were struggling. And all of a sudden, the manager says to me, he says, listen, he says, I love the way you play as a 9, you hold it up this anyway. He said, but I want to try you in left wing. I'm not pace, I'm not getting up and down for 90 minutes. He's like, no, he said, I don't want you to defend. He said, I just want you to drift into that little position. He says, you can go left, get your shot off, get your cross off. He says, you can come inside, get your shots off. I'll whip it in as well. He's like, you're comfortable on either side. I was like, yeah, okay. And from that position, I always found myself, as I got older, I naturally started drifting just into that little position in between the centre half and the right back. And I always felt like if I got there 1v1, yeah, I was comfortable going both ways. So
yeah,
kind of give the defender a bit of a headache. If the centre half wanted to come out with me, there's a gap. If the right back came into me, the wingers then got loads of space. So you're giving the team.
If they don't come, you have the chance to turn and go.
Yeah, so you're giving the team 3 different options there.
Yeah.
And I just look at that and I go, yeah, that's a clever position for me to pick up. Because as I got a little bit older, even though I was slow, I got even slower. So I couldn't pace them. So I was like, right, if I get in that position and get turned, I can get a half yard, I can get a shot off, or I can make something happen.
Yeah.
And that was me going, if I hadn't got that little bit of education in Belgium, where I was looking at them there going, yeah, I think they're going to be really good in there, guy. I maybe would have probably spent my whole career with my back against wall and
pinning people
and trying to get turned and then trying to like knock it out wide and get in the box. And heading was never my strongest point. So I was kind of half in and half out.
Yeah.
Didn't know what I wanted to be.
See, just before you leave, and it's the last thing I want to talk about Newcastle, because it's incredible because of the people that you obviously got to spend time with and learn off. When you were leaving, you'd obviously built up a reputation there. As you say, you're consistently scoring goals at every level. You're coming through. Everybody knows who you are. Whenever you're leaving, is it a shock to certain people that you're going, or was it, that's football, see you later?
That's football. Move on. Tomorrow's another day. That's just so cutthroat. And it's like your job now. Like I say this to people where I work these days. Well, just a number.
Yeah.
Like life goes
Ones
on.
and zeros, isn't it? Yeah.
Life goes on so quickly. As much as you think you're going to be this and you're going to be that. Listen, mate, they've made a decision. You're gone. That's it. You're gone. So it's on to the next one.
Yeah.
And, that's where a lot of people kind of struggle as well. Like they're so used to going places and being, you're the main man. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. And they've had this their whole lives. I had it my whole life. And all of a sudden it's right. See you later, mate. And you kind of look and go, I was having a conversation only 4 months ago talking about, like, I was definitely going to play for the first team at some point during the season. Whether it was a League Cup game or whatever, they're going to try and bed me in at some point. 4 months later, I'm out the door. I'm looking for a new club. And it's the only thing you've ever known. So you can either do one or two things. You can either let it consume you, or you can just go, this is a new opportunity. This is a new opportunity for me to go and prove myself all over again. And sometimes that's a nice little position to be in, because it might give you that little bit of hunger back. Like, it might give you that little bit of bite back in training, like a little 50-50 challenge that you'd maybe try and flick it over someone's foot. You might be in there, you might be smashing people again. Yeah. So you kind of go through, it is disappointing. It did hurt. But you can't feel sorry for yourself. Not in this game.
Time goes by too quick, doesn't it? Absolutely. You don't actually have the chance to actually rest on your laurels. It's, if you don't do this, you actually just going to hinder yourself go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say as well, like, I'm talking about youngsters at Newcastle as well, how good they were. Like I named like 4 people ahead of me that were like part of the youths and the reserves, and 2 people behind me that were brilliant as well. There's 6 players. Like, they're all vying for the same spot.
Yeah.
They're all trying to do what I'm trying to achieve as well. Like, what happens to them? Some of them go and some of them never kick a football again. Some of them maybe go and play in a lower league in England. Some of them mentally can't handle it and just kind of go off the rails. You just don't know. Whereas I was kind of mentally strong enough to go like, no, I've put in the hard work. I feel like I'm good enough. I feel like I'm clever enough. Move on. Let's go. Disillusioned, yes, with Newcastle as and hurt, but the mindset was, listen, I still need to go to work.
Yeah. One of the things that I done recently is we spoke about, there was I done my coaching badges a couple of years ago, and I got quite close to Stephen Taylor.
Yeah.
What's Big Tails like? Because I met him for all of 2.5 weeks, and they say we consistently drank every night in the town. Turned up on our coaching. He is an incredible person.
Tails was my best friend growing up.
No way.
Yeah.
He is hilarious. I mean, I met him at the time. He just got his hurdle, so he was still heading balls in training sessions, trying to do his coaching badges. And I'm like, you've just paid to get your hurdle in Turkey, mate, and your fringe is about to come off.
He's a great lad. He was another one. I'm sure he's not going to mind me saying this, but I feel like he underachieved.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I watched him, like, we grew up together. Like, we played in all the same teams, and he should have played for England. He should have played for England 50 times. He should have been in there with John Terry and Rio Ferdinand. He should have been stuck in the middle of them, like, challenging them here and there. He was that good.
Yeah.
He was that good for so long. He was the best young player coming through. He captained England. He captained the 21s. He was a local boy. He was a local hero. He was the best thing. He was a hero. He was an absolute hero in Newcastle. Now, you probably look at me going, someone that's got 20 million quid in the bank and played 500 games in the Premiership. How could he underachieve? But I just think he should have done more. I feel like he was...
Like, internationally, he should have... Well, why do you think that he wouldn't have made it to that stage? Like, I know you're looking at that time, you're looking Rio Ferdinand's, John Terry's, these people.
But I feel like he he probably should have moved. I know that sounds weird coming from a local boy, but I think he should have moved. I think he should have went with Chelsea when he had the chance. I think he should have went on and really kind of hit the next level. But then again as well, you know, like, I say that, but I seen the trajectory he was on. But then we signed Jonathan Woodgate when we were at Newcastle, and he was on a different level altogether. Okay. And I was kind of looking, and I don't know if Taylor kind of, he never really then learned from Woodgate, you know. He never really kind of went, well, that's a standard to get to. Now, don't get me wrong, he was still our second best defender. He was still better than Titus. He was better than, say, Andy O'Brien, all them boys. But like so Woodgate came in and he was like a Rolls Royce. Yeah. So kind of looking at that standard, going, could he have got to that standard? I actually think he could have. Or could he have sat there and went, do you know, there's Cahill that went to Chelsea from Bolton.
Yeah, he elevated his whole career.
He really did. And I think Taylor maybe should have, maybe he's made the move and maybe he could have done that. Or maybe he's just been a bit more consistent when he was with Newcastle, you know, maybe he's been there. I don't quite know how to articulate it, but I just feel like he should have played 50 times for England.
Yeah. I
just feel he was so good. And then he just kind of seemed, I don't know if maybe his injuries played a part or whatever. I mean, he still had a phenomenal career.
Yeah.
He was brilliant and he's a great lad.
Yeah.
But I just look and I think, you know, like, I had him as a future England captain. Like, that's how highly I rated him. Yeah. That's how, like, I played against everybody growing up. Played against all the boys, you know, we were in the reserves and we were, you know, we played against Liverpool reserves one time and Marcus Babbel and Igor Bishkan are marking you. I think Marcus Babbel won a World Cup.
Yeah.
And he's better than them.
Yeah.
Like, he was as good as them. And I think to myself, I'm like, I just wish he had a, like, even though he was phenomenal and he did brilliantly, I just wish he had it on more.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Alexa Plus. Say hello to Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do more for you. Need tickets to that last-minute show? Craving your favorite restaurant? Sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. Alexa learns your preferences to create a personalized experience. And now, Alexa Plus is free with Prime on your Amazon devices, like Echo and Fire TV. Learn more at amazon.com/Alexa Plus.
See, when I done that, coaching badges with him, and you get put into the group with the pros because technically you're a professional over here and you all categorize yourself. Yeah. So you get the chance to experience what it's like to sit with these people, and you do your coaching badges and everybody's pretty much starting off level here.
Yeah.
Which is like no egos. You know where they are and they don't even remotely reminisce on anything. It's like you're starting day one and you're doing little games, 11v11s. And I think that's the first time where I've went, this is a 36, 37-year-old man, and I know that I wouldn't be at that level. At that time, he hadn't played, so he came back from India. I think he was coaching in Dubai, and how physical he was. Oh, he's even in training. And you're like, this is a coaching game. Like, you're trying to set up a 4-3-3, and he's supposed to be helping you. And he was, boom. And you're like, what the f? Like, I don't think I was ever going to be that physical. And I think you could tell even the speed of him and how he went at things mentally. I was like, I don't think I would have ever been that.
I think you would have. I just think he's the same as myself. He was in it from such a young age.
Yeah.
And the thing is he was never out of it. And that's kind of where the difference lies. If you're there and every single training session matters, and it's every single day of the week, and you're playing against the best players in the world, like what we talked about, pretty sure if you're in there and you feel like you're getting embarrassed, you'll go in and then you work harder.
Yeah. And
the mindset will change. And not only will the mindset change, that little bit of sharpness will change. Like, you're getting hit by him and you feel like you're getting hit by a train. Mm-hmm. Like, because he's big and he's strong. But within a month, you'd be just as quick, you'd be just as strong if you put in the work. And that's where I think a lot of people now look, and you know, like they are at a different level because they're doing it every day. And it's so quick, it's so sharp, and the standards are so good. But if you were to have that education from kind of 8 years of age all the way up as well, you wouldn't be a million miles off it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, like, I love to go and play a five-a-side with the lads. And I hear people talking like, oh, he's shite and he's this and he's that. And I'm like, lads, you've no idea how good these boys are.
Yeah.
These boys are brilliant. Like, some of these Irish League boys now, they're really good footballers.
Yeah, incredible, yeah.
Incredibly technically gifted and all that type of stuff. And these boys are out there hammering them. And I'm not looking at them going, if he came down to five-a-side, I'm like looking going, you can't even catch me, mate. I'm 40. I'm 40 and you can't even catch me. Yeah. They're out there hammering the boys. But I think if you had that education, if you kind of were in that every day, you wouldn't see, before you know it, getting hit by him would feel normal.
Yeah.
Now when you get then...
Wouldn't be like whiplash after the first 4.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what you get used to. You get used to being hit every day. You get used to hitting being a certain way. And then you look and go, well, that one hurt.
Yeah.
Case in point, the Shearer story. How do I not get hit like that again?
Yeah. You change and adapt.
You change and adapt. Not only that as well, like you'd sit there as well and you'd go, do you know what, I'll take him to an area. He's a big physical boy. I'm not going to be as physical with him. You know what it is? I'll drop him into an area, I'll pop it off a few times, and then I'll face him 1v1. Because when you're facing him, once he's backpedaling and you run at him, he's not going to catch you.
Yeah.
So you try and look at the game and you go, how do I get the better of him? Because it's like a game of chess. Mm-hmm. You know, he's stronger than me. Okay, that's fine. He can be stronger than me. He's quicker than me. Okay, grand. Right, where does he not want to be? Okay, he doesn't want to be running towards goal. Yeah, do you know what it is? Knock a few balls in the corner. Do you know what it is? As he's running back, I might give him a little elbow in the back, and as I fall over him, I might run up his Achilles and maybe fall on top of him.
Dark arts again.
Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I would have done anything to win a football game. Okay. I play golf now, and I'm like,
no,
you wouldn't cheat if someone paid you. You know, like if you did made a mistake, oh no, that's an extra shot. Yeah, whatever it is, right? See, when you're on that football pitch, even training, you would do anything to win.
Yeah.
And trying to explain that to people is really hard. You know, trying to explain to people like, I would dive to win a penalty.
Yeah.
If I could run past him and he tugged my shirt, right? And I thought if I went down, I'd get him sent off. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Okay.
Like, so you kind of look and going, right, if someone's getting the better of me, how do I get the better of him?
Yeah.
Well, I stand behind him, well, I give him a knee up the arse, you know, like, and
stand on their feet.
Stand on their feet. Jim Irvin used to sit there, used to pinch me all day long.
Yeah.
He just used to sit there and just pinch me. And I used to look at him and just go, don't bother me. I actually,
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that, Jim, you know. And then I'd see him just going straight up with another centre forward and he'd do the same. But like the other centre forward would get booked and I'd be like, just let him at it. It's always going to be like that.
100%. And that's the old school thing that I like, you know. I do agree. I think that's massively came out of the game now.
Oh, yeah. But you miss that. Yeah. I miss that. I remember one of the games I played for Linfield, I ended up playing with him was Doyle Eye's coaching at Glenavon now.
Yes.
He absolutely smashed me first chance he got. Banged me into the boards. I got up, I was delighted. It was in a game. And he says to me, like when we played with each other the year later at Glenavon, he says, I couldn't wait to do you.
Yeah.
I was like, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought that was great. I says that we ended up going on and winning the game, all type of stuff. And he obviously thought he had like got one up on me because yeah. Whereas I was like, no, like this is just starting now.
Yeah,
this
we're in a game.
We're in a game now. Now, I would never say anything to them, and I think that's what used to annoy the defenders. I used to be like, oh yeah, great tackle, and get up and get on with it. I never used to get involved in any of the slagging, but I loved the physicality of it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love nothing more than going up for a header and someone coming through the back of you and winning a cheap free kick, scoring a goal from it and going.
Laughing, you know.
Laughing, going, yeah I've baited you into that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like a lot of that's gone.
It is. Definitely is. And I think there's too much scrutiny around decisions and what is an actual foul and then the intensity of your tackle or, you know, your like how forceful you are and stuff, and I'm going, a tackle's a tackle. Like if you've gone with force to win the ball, and you win the ball cleanly, it's a clean tackle.
Yeah,
it's nothing to do with force.
Yeah. Do you know what I've lost a little bit of love of football there over the last number of years with VAR. You know, not being able to celebrate a goal. Like, I just feel like they've completely ruined the game.
Yeah.
And, you know, like it was there, same going back to the Irish final there as well. They're introducing VAR and stuff like that. I feel like saying, keep it out of the game.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brutal.
There's so much talking points around the League Cup there and how that was going to work, because I know Jared obviously brought it in for the final and people are then complaining saying you should have had it in from day one, but I don't think they actually knew that they wouldn't have it or have the option to have it. And then at the other side, I'm thinking then, the one thing that I thought was it was definitely going to be called into use. I was thinking something's going to happen, there's going to be a massive decision and it's going to go wrong. And they're going to get it wrong, and it's going to be a fucking show for everybody and somebody's going to lose the cup. Now, thankfully it didn't happen, and it wasn't used, but the fact that it was there, financially, do we ever see the Irish League being able to pay for that consistently? I just don't think so.
The way I look at it is, the Premiership have all the money in the world, richest league in the world.
100%.
I watch people debate on VAR decisions week in and week out. Like, there's so many variations of a tackle, of force, of follow through, of intent. I think what was it? The game there a few months ago, your man jumps up for a header and he grabs someone by the hair and he got a red card. And I was like, I was sitting there, I think it was the Everton game. I was looking, going, how the fuck's that a red card?
Yeah.
I was like, if we were playing, you'd be dragging him by the hair.
Yeah.
You'd be, like, if you ran past him and you'd seen his hair, you'd like kind of drag him and you just kind of laugh as you're going by, like get a bit of reaction. Maybe he's got to let him come in and smash you and take a cheap free kick. Like, that's all missing out the game now.
Yeah.
Like, if you ran past him now and grabbed her hair, you'd be sent off.
100%.
And you're looking going, that's cat. That's brutal.
The one thing that gets me, and it probably the same for you as a centre forward, is if you score a goal, you just genuinely don't know if you've scored.
No.
Like that moment after where euphoria hits and you're celebrating because it's hit the back of the net, and then all of a sudden it's like, check over on my own side, wait until VAR comes in, tells you 2 minutes later that's a goal, and then you then re-celebrate. I'm like, that's not the...
You look at it, like, you are a centre forward and you are a big handful. You are a big handful as a centre forward. The amount of tussles that you're having with centre halves, where you're dragging each other, where he's pulling you, where you're at each other. Like, you wouldn't know if any of your goals were going to stand.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, the amount of times, like if you had to do that, like, and look at it, like, all throughout the game, that'd be 1,000 free kicks.
Yeah.
The amount of times you're going up for a header and someone's grabbing you, or someone's pulling you, or someone's pushing you into position. Like, where does it stop?
I also think too that they're trying to obviously keep the game flowing. So
Yeah.
the time, the 12 seconds or whatever it is, and then people complaining about throw-ins. And they, like, you want the game to start and flow quickly, but then people are more worried about taking an extra 3 yards in a throw-in, bringing the player back because they think that 3 yards is an advantage. And it's like shouting and screaming, you're sitting going like, he's just taking 3 steps. Like, realistically, who cares?
Yeah,
Do you know?
get on with it.
Yeah, like,
Get on with it.
what does it need?
Like, get on
Fans
with it.
are horrible for it too. They'll be like, that's not where it was from, and you're sitting going like, God, like, you don't need to worry about that.
I know what it is. I used to love, I know it sounds weird, I used to love getting abuse off the fans.
Okay.
There's one thing that I actually enjoyed. As mad as what that sounds, there's a supporter at Cliftonville in particular. And every time...
I know his name, I know where he lives.
Every time I walked out, he used to go, hey, Batesy, you're a fat cunt. Every time. I used to look and go, I think I look all right today.
Yeah.
And like, just every time, it was the same Cliftonville supporter standing behind the goal as you walked out. And every time, I used to, do you know this?
Smirk and walk. Like.
I used to listen for it.
Yeah.
I used to listen for it. I used to sit there and go, geez, I must have looked huge on a football pitch.
Well, we're just big boned. That's the way I look at it, you know?
Do you know what it is? I used to sit there and, you know, like, if someone ever bumped into you and they'd go, Jesus, you're not fat at all. And you'd look and go, what? What do you mean I'm not fat at all? Yeah. See, on a football pitch, you look
like
big.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, well, I am big.
Yeah.
Like,
I got that too.
But you look fat. I'm like, no, but like, you can't play football. You can't play 40 games a season if you're fat, mate.
No, 100%.
You know?
Do you know what also doesn't help? The beard.
Yeah.
The beard puts, I'm going to say, an extra £10 on.
Yeah. Cameras as well. Put it. That's my excuse in there. You had an extra 2 cameras on me.
Sucking in for all these photos.
Yeah.
Whenever you finally leave, so the one place you've had travels, so Australia, fantastic experience. Belgium, fantastic experience. What was the quality like and change? So Australia first, obviously, straight after Newcastle. Was it daunting for you being like, this isn't the same level?
do you know what I found? I found I was making the runs and I wasn't getting the ball.
Okay.
In Australia. So I found like I was like kind of darting in behind to come short, you know, just kind of give the defender something else to think about. And I wasn't getting the ball. But I found technically they tried to play a little bit more football.
Okay.
It was physical, but it wasn't as technically good, even though they tried to play a technically good game of football. And like I say, it was in its first year. I mean, there was some fabulous footballers in there as well. You know, a few boys that went on to be the Australian internationals and all that type of stuff as well. But it was great. And because of the heat as well, you had to conserve maybe a little bit more energy.
Okay.
Whereas coming from in England where you just pressed constantly. Like you were pressing and you were like chasing, you were hurrying and all that type of stuff. And then you kind of went there, was like, no, conserve your energy, mate. You know, come and link the play and all that type of stuff. They're not going to chase into you because they don't want to run back. You know, they want to conserve their energy. So it was a completely different way of learning how to play football again. You look at that and you go, yeah, it was good, you know. Then you're training so early, you know, to get out the heat, and then all of a sudden you're going, they had a great thing about being in the pool constantly and like stretching constantly. I found every time I stretched, I got injured. I was like, I'm not stretching anymore. Just give me a ball. Just let me lash them.
Yeah. I was go out, warm up, go and play.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Whereas like they were like constantly on about stretching. I remember I was like, Jesus, mate, hips.
I don't like everything so loose.
Yeah. I don't like the feel of that.
Everything should be stiff.
Yeah. Didn't like the feel of that. And then you kind of go home, you go back and you play in England, and it's back to physicality again.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, this is great. Then you go to Belgium, and it's like technically really good. Really good. A lot of feeder clubs for a lot of different places. You know, like Beveren, I think they were a feeder club for Arsenal. Antwerp were the feeder club for Man United. You know, and you're playing against these boys, you know, and real good players. And then you go from being kind of 2 up top to 1 up top. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you're going from that 1 up top where you're learning kind of to try and stay between the 18 to then go, right, now we're going to try and drift you out left and stuff as well. So you're kind of looking at that going, yeah, that's different for me as well. But yeah, tell me how can I affect the game this way? So you start watching a little bit more the kind of the European football one, right? Why they drifting there? What they 1v1, right? If he goes in there, if the centre forward comes in, the defender goes, I can dart in, almost like a third man run. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Then all of a sudden you're back at Drogheda, and all of a sudden it's back to a physical league again. Yeah. So like everywhere you go, it's so unique and it's so different. But I say to people all the time, like football is such a small world.
Yeah.
Like you can play it your whole life, and almost everybody you meet, you'll bump into at a certain stage in life, or someone else will bump into them. You know, you're talking about Stephen Taylor there. Adam Foley was the same. He did costume badge as Stephen Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, and I said, oh, it was my best mate growing up. And they're like,
because Foley was on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's a great lad. You know, talking about that. When we were growing up, I nearly signed for a few different clubs, and one of the clubs I nearly signed for was Leeds. Warren Joyce was the head of the youth development. When I was playing in Belgium, he was manager of Royal Antwerp. He tried to sign me for Royal Antwerp. So I'm like, all right, that's grand. Fast forward 10 years, my little brother signs for Wigan. Who's his manager? Warren Joyce, and my old goalkeeper from Drogheda United, Dan Connor. It's the smallest world.
Be like, any chance of a job? Take me out.
Get me out. I can still do a job. I can still do a job for you.
Even like a coaching role behind.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's, you're looking at that and you're going, like, football's such a small world.
Yeah.
My little brother was a really technically good footballer. So much so that Sven-Göran Eriksson loved him. Sven bought a team in, I think, either Norway or Finland. I can't remember exactly where it was. My little brother was his first signing.
Right.
Yeah, he was his holding midfielder. I was like, looking at him, I was like, Sven asked for you directly. He was like, yeah. I was like, mate, he's managed some of the best players in the world. He's had Gerrard and Beckham and them boys. I says, and he loves you. He said, yeah, he just loves me. And you kind of look and going, that's mad.
Yeah. But then again, a total game of opinions, isn't it?
Oh, total game of opinions. What some people see. Like I was saying to you before, you know, for a few years there when you were coming in, you were so big and so strong and so quick. I remember for about 3 years, you were the whole top in the league. You were going to be the best player in the league for the next 5 years. And I loved the way you played. Like I loved like that big, strong, like trying to link the play and all that type of stuff. But then you're the likes of us, we're battered and like we're retired early. And the boys are kind of like drifting into little positions and didn't take the knocks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the ones that like can just dart into little areas, you know, be the foxes in the boxes.
Oh, I call them fruits.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
Whether you bond over streaming binge-worthy videos, watching sports recaps, video gaming, or by unplugging altogether, the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus Hybrid helps keep you connected throughout your journey. Learn more at Lincoln.com. Available connectivity features and functionality vary by model. Package pricing, trials, and term lengths vary by model. Video streaming and games are only available while parked.
Yeah.
There's been so many of them, and I'm actually looking going, I probably should have done what you done a few times. You know, even every couple of the games, just take it easy.
I played with Fabio, Declan O'Brien at Drogheda and Glenavon. And I used to run around, I used to get battered, I used to take the elbow to the head, I used to get headbutted in the back, I used to walk off a whiplash, I'd be chasing the balls in the corners. I remember one time I was sitting there, I just felt like I'd done about 6 doggies. And there was a throw-in on the other side, and I was there, I was in the box, I was like, gasping for air. Like, Beatty, go link that play, will you? I looked at him, I was like, you go do it, mate. I was like, just give me a second here. So he goes over, he tries to link the play, he kicks out, and I'm like, yeah, mate, get the fuck out. You're not doing that anymore. I was like, oh, I can't watch that. But like, you'd walk off the game, you'd be battered and bruised. He'd have scored 2 goals, not a bead of sweat on him, shirt off, 6-pack ripped, and you'd be looking going,
yeah. And that's the thing too, isn't it? Like, some people probably don't appreciate the other side of it.
Yeah.
Like, when you collect all the accolades for scoring, best feeling in the world, do you know? But whenever you don't, somebody scores 2, but you've done everything around battering people, linking plays, flick-ons, elbows to the head, and you feel like just give me it, do you know? Like, let me know that you appreciate it. You know?
I feel like in the Irish League it is. I feel like you need a bit of both. I mean, I was very lucky that I played with like I say, like Decky O'Brien, you know, Mark Farron, God rest him, you know. I love playing with the ball. As much as it sounds, right, I like them getting the accolades because those boys were always on the shoulder and they were always running in behind. They were so quick.
Yeah.
It meant that I could actually go in and actually link the play. And it meant because the defenders were that worried about him that sometimes I wasn't getting smashed as much.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking it because they were so worried about their pace and obviously them scoring the goals. So what you did was you tried to be cute up with that again. You know, you kind of dropped in, and then you had like McGrory. I used to love playing with Andy McGrory. Like, I'm sure you did as well. Like, he would just get the ball, he would whip it into your feet, and he would be gone.
Yeah. Aye, and then next minute he's whipped into the box for you. Like, just play the twos and go.
Play twos and go. And it was a dream.
Yeah.
Now, Andy would probably tell you he wasn't technically the most gifted footballer, but he was arguably one of the most effective in the league for close to 10 years. Mm-hmm. And he was, talked about it before, could play right wing, right back, probably do a job for you in midfield at some point, could probably play up top. You know, he could play 5 different positions.
Yeah.
He was invaluable to us at Glenavon. And I love those different types of players. Like, I feel like football needs a bit of everybody.
It does.
It needs a bit of everybody. It needs those players that can run all day, you know.
That's where I think having this new era of player where they limit themselves to one area is probably killing footballers. Like, if I'm a manager and you're a manager and you know that a Trey Hume, who has obviously rose, completely projected himself in the Premiership, he's not just a right back. He's a centre back. He can cover. He can go right wing. He can probably go in the middle of the park. He's comfortable on the ball. Like, you have somebody who's completely versatile in everything they do on the right hand side of the pitch. But if you know that you only have him as a right back and he can't do anything else for you, somebody else behind him can probably offer 2 or 3 things. And if you have somebody who can offer that, you're probably going to pick them over that person if they're like consistent 9 out of 10.
Yeah, they'll be in the squad more often than not. Like, people ask me who's the most underrated footballer ever. Like, that I personally, like, seen and played with and what have you. Aaron Hughes.
Okay.
Aaron Hughes. Like, people say, how can he be underrated? Played however many games for Newcastle in Northern Ireland, probably 100 caps.
Mm-hmm.
But he played right back for us, left back, centre half. I think, did he do the man marking job against Lothar Matthäus one day in the Champions League? He played holding midfield for us. He was absolutely brilliant. And you know what it is? He was never below a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Talking about tries, Hume.
Yes.
Like when you talk about like mirror images, absolutely brilliant. Aaron probably wasn't as aggressive as Troy.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, he was absolutely phenomenal. Like, for me, he is just so good. He was absolutely brilliant in every single position. And it was mad that he never actually had one position.
Yeah.
Like, I for 7 or 8 years, I remember just looking going, he's so good. He's so good at right back, so good at left back, so good at centre half, so good in midfield, so good at man marking, and the nicest man in the world.
Yeah.
No, they probably they won't remember me from me being a youngster there. But like those types of boys, you just look and go, how good are they?
Yeah.
How good are they? Like, you're talking about your boy Szoboszlai at Liverpool at the minute.
Yeah.
He's another one.
Yeah.
Wherever he plays, right mid, centre mid, right back, he's the best player on the pitch. He's an absolute.
And then he scores goals. Do you know what I mean? Technically.
Yeah, technically gifted.
Hitting the free kicks from everywhere.
I watched him against Ireland in the qualifier. And there was that game that I realised how good he actually was over the 2 legs. I was like, there's nobody on the pitch even on the same level as him. Mm-hmm. And then he goes in the Premiership and he does it in 3 different positions.
Yeah.
And you're talking about levels. Like, that, they are levels. They're levels
100%.
that we could only aspire to get to, or even dream of playing. But those boys are, they're just so good. They're so good. But I'd say that their willingness to work hard every day is what kind of sets them apart.
I would say so. 100%. Yeah, I would say so. That's the mentality side of things. And that's what a lot of people say too. Whenever you get to that, they consistently stay and compete where you don't tire yourself out and just give up is like too late.
We signed James Milner and he was good. Like, he was really, really good. He kind of played a lot of the reserve games. Also, he was kind of teetering in and out. He was young. He was my age, so he would have been 19 or whatever. I think we paid probably 5 million for him back in the day. If you were to say it to me, he would have had the career that he had. I would have been like, absolutely, because he could outwork anybody. He was the best. He literally was. Sometimes you'd go in, you'd have a bad day, and you'd be like, oh, I'm knackered in this anyway. He was.
Jim, let's go.
Yeah, he was just on it. He was.
When you look at those, because like Liverpool do that inside Melwood, where like you can watch training and stuff. And every pre-season they do that lactate test.
Yeah.
And consistently it's like just him. Yeah. Lapping. And then there was a podcast came out or a TV show that he done, and he was saying that anytime that he feels like he doesn't want to do something, he runs like 5k. They'll be like, I'm going to do this anyway. Even though I don't want to, I'm just definitely going to do it now. I'm like, I don't want to go to bed. And he's like, oh, I didn't fancy eating chicken today, so around 5k to make sure it's good. I was like, fuck off, that's mental.
But then on the other hand of it as well, right? Flip it to the other end. The likes of Shearer.
Yeah.
Same group, right? Same team. He'd be shouting there. People would be lapping him. When you get the balls out, you're a fucking shite.
Yeah.
Whip it in the box, I'll show you.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I'm saying. You need a bit of everybody.
Yeah.
But he could outwork anybody. He was brilliant. His attitude every day was phenomenal. And some people are made for the run. I remember I struggled with the running. Like, didn't struggle.
Listen, we're both there, mate.
Yeah.
100%.
But I used to sit there. I used to go running every few weeks before pre-season. I used to make sure I wasn't at the back.
Yeah.
But I used to look at the lads, and some of the lads, they used to be like, lapping you. Used to be like, going, yeah, but you're shit.
Yeah.
and my mindset actually changed. I was like, wait until the balls get out, mate.
Yeah.
You're not even going to make the 16.
Yeah.
So, like, but then all of a sudden we'd have 6 games in a week, in a month or whatever. And all of a sudden this fella's in and he's playing right back, centre mid, centre half, and he's up and down, he's this, that, and the other, and you go, right, He's done his job.
Yeah, next
right. Back to the 18.
Yeah.
Like, we'll bring you back in. And they never seem to lose fitness.
Yeah.
I miss a few games and all of a sudden I come back and I'm like, Jesus, lads, like I feel a bit sluggish here. Yeah. And the first few knocks actually hurt a little bit more. Whereas if you're in it week in and week out and you're taking that knock every game, you're like, oh yeah, it's planned.
One of the big things when I first signed at Ballymena, we talked about before, was obviously I was a bit heavier. I'd only came out, I was still a kid. And Ross Glendenning, goalkeeper, was the fittest guy in the planet. And then we had to do, Davey used to do a 12-minute and a 6-minute like competitive run. Now, I don't think I ever ran consistently for more than 3 minutes. So to do this was, I was lucky that Bushy was there, Cahir Freed, because he was completely unfit and didn't take it off. But Ross lapped us 3 times in this 10-minute run. And you had to run around the pitch just for 10 minutes, 12 minutes. And I was like, you're a goalkeeper. Like, why are you that fit? There's no need for you to be lapping people. Like, chill out. And I was like, to that day, I was like, I'm not fit and I don't enjoy running, because he was just happy. And I was like, you either be happy and enjoy it or you just hate it.
Oh, you hate it. Like I'm even at that stage now. Like I go for a few 5Ks every now and again. Hate every bit of it.
Yeah.
I actually tell the missus, just tell me to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Tell me. And I tell her the day before, like, tell me I've got to go. Like, tell me I've got to go one. She's like, yeah, you got to go. And I procrastinate. Do you know the hardest part for me? Putting the runners on.
Yeah.
Once the runners are on, I just get up and I go. You see me,
all the best intentions to you.
And I'm like,
buy all the nice trainers, not thinking they'll help me. And then after using the ones, you're like,
I played with Ross at Linfield as well. Like, but his dad was a fabulous player as well, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
His dad was one of the old timers.
The original, the OGs.
Yeah, one of the originals. Yeah, really was. But you're talking about like, so I'm saying like the Glendennings, you know, like talent.
Yeah,
like they were never going to be anything else.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine your dad being who he is and not being fit and not being able to run?
Exactly. And then Reece was the same. Reece played multiple teams, played, as you say, versatile, left back, right back, centre mid, do a job for you.
Reece was a good footballer.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. He was a good footballer, Reece. Do you know what it is? Like, there's no real bad footballers.
No.
To play at that level, you have to be good.
Yeah.
You have to have something in some capacity. I just feel like some people just kind of excel. And like I say as well, like some people, when the lights get a bit brighter, shine that little bit more as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can get consumed in kind of doubts and, like, oh, should I have made that pass? And then like they're doubting themselves instead of playing naturally. Foley actually talks about, kind of performance anxiety and stuff like that. He'd be massive into the mental health aspect of it, of the games and stuff like that. I say I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Just give me the ball, mate. Like, I'll try. Let me play. Let me play. I'll try and make something happen. Like, and if I had a stinker, I really had a stinker because it didn't bother me. Giving the ball.
I'm going to be bad. I'm going to be good at it.
Do you know what it is? Like, even when I get the ball away 15 times, I was like, I was still trying to get it, and I was still trying to play that pass, and I was still trying to make something happen. And I might give it away a 16th time. But there's nobody ever going to come to me after the game and go, do you know what it is? You went hiding.
Yeah.
Like, I was never going to get that. I was always going to get, still try to make something happen. I still popped my body in where it hurt. I still chased every ball. Like I say as well, I would have been devastated if someone turned around and said to me, do you know what, I had a handy game against him. He wasn't that good.
Yeah.
That would have killed me. My pride would have been hurt.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas, like, like I look at some of them and you can see, like, even the youngsters now, they want to put everything on. Like, they can be shite for 90 minutes. And all of a sudden they win a flick on. And the team go on and score. And they have up beside the game, assist today.
Yeah.
And you're going, you're shite, mate. You are shite.
It's all about what it sees on the camera.
I watched Drogheda play in the cup final, like, against Derry City. I was obviously there. Like, a few of my friends play for Drogheda, it was really, it's the most nervous I've ever been in a football game.
Right, okay. Even though you won the Irish Cup and different things like that?
Yeah, most nervous I've ever been. Watching my mates play and wanting them to do well.
Yeah.
It was because you've no control over it.
You don't. Yeah.
You've no control of it. But I watched the centre forward for Drogheda, and he was absolutely brutal. And I mean, like, and I wanted him to do well.
Yeah.
But his hold-up play was poor. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, this fella's... but like the team itself were brilliant. And Drogheda ended up winning the game quite comfortably. 2 weeks later, I was just on my phone. I was pissing around like that, and the same fella shows up on my Twitter feed talking about how great it is and how he was like winning like Irish Cup and how he did this and how he did that. And I was like, look, I'm going. And it took every part of me to not go, you were the worst player on that pitch, mate.
Yeah.
Like, have a bit of
reflection.
Self-reflection.
Like,
oh, do you know what it is? I didn't have a great game today, but the boys were great or whatever. This fella was talking about, like he was a world beater.
Yeah.
And I was up and going, if I say something to him, I'm going to look better.
100%.
And that's not who I am as a person. But I was thinking going, yeah, you've scored a few goals and you scored a few important goals. But mate, you are absolutely terrible. You are absolutely terrible. Like, take some accountability. I used to hate like going in and going, sorry lads, like, I was crap today, I was brutal. I used to hate that. Because I'd be the first one to go, I was shit.
Yeah.
I was absolutely brutal.
The thing is too, everybody knows you are too. So you're like, and they're like, we know.
Yeah.
You killed us today.
Yeah, you killed us today. Like, and you know, when you make a stupid decision, you know the worst part is the centre forward. Do you know when you've held the ball up and you've done all the hard work, and then you just go to play like a little simple pass, and you give it away, and then the team goes up and scores,
and you know it's coming. As soon as you pass the ball and they take it, you see where the pitch is, and you're like, oh fuck,
wow,
yeah.
Like I remember being at Drogheda, and I did it. Got the ball, did all the hard work, held it up, went to lay it back and played a shitty pass. Team turned around, ran up the other end and scored. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, that's the first thing that's going to be shown on the review on Monday morning.
LOI TV.
No, like our own personal one. I was like, I'm going to get caned for this on Monday morning. I was like, I could see Doolan's head getting redder by the minute. Looked like it was going to explode. I was like, oh shit.
One thing I want to talk to you about just kind of before we wrap up, because we've been flying here, but what's the difference? You've played in both consistently. You played for Drogheda, you've played for Linfield, you've played for Glenavon. The leagues are obviously, every league's getting better. Like, it seems like the League of Ireland's consistently getting better. There's more coverage of it. You can watch the LOI TV every Friday. It's nice to be able to see that on a Friday night. And then the Irish League now, with the money and the finances and the aspect of it picking up and going full time. What do you think's the biggest difference, and how big of a gap do you think there is?
I don't think it's as big as what people think it is. But, like, I feel like everybody feels like the gap's huge. Like, the gap's not that big. I just feel like it's maybe a little bit more coaching. Maybe it's a little bit more kind of full-time football. You know, like Linfield were great against Shelbourne there. And was it the Champions League?
Yeah.
But yeah, they were great against Shelbourne. What was it? 2-0 over 2 legs?
Yeah.
Now, Shelbourne's budget is huge. Like, they had Damien Duff as a manager.
Yeah.
You imagine what his standards were like. You know, like, he's bringing in coaching from the likes of Mourinho and all those boys. Like, no, that's not to say like Healy hasn't had praise himself with Sir Alex and what have you, you know. But what I'm saying is, you know, if every day you're training and the standards are so good, you can't not become a better player. They're getting players in from the UK, like the likes of Drogheda. Drogheda are like bringing in boys from Walsall. They've got a little thing there with Walsall there where they're bringing in their young players and all types of stuff. Yeah, we'd give him a chance. The boys that are kind of teetering on the brink of the first team and what have you. And then boys are coming in, they're bringing that professionalism from, say, the UK and putting it into the League of Ireland. And then maybe raising that standard and it's getting that little bit better. You know? In a few years, can Northern Ireland do that? You know, can the likes of Lawn have that? Can Linfield have that? Absolutely. You know, can Glentoran have that? Absolutely. So if they're bringing in, say we use the young boy, Patrick Kelly.
Yeah.
You know, young Northern Irish boy. If you bring him back, right, and you mention the standard he's got there from, is it West Ham he's at?
No. He was
at West Ham.
Barnsley now?
Barnsley, yeah. But I'm saying, I thought he was at loan at Barnsley. But I was kind of going, if you had got him on loan and goes, right, take a standard. Imagine the standard he would have come in and set after being with those boys in the Premiership week in and week out. So then the standard jumps a little bit. And then that standard stays there. If you bring 5 of those in a year and that standard keeps getting that little bit better, it's almost like stepping stones.
Yeah.
If you get those stepping stones, you know, if you demand it from each other, in no time you'll see the standard getting better and better.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on it. I mean, I could be right, I could be wrong, but, you know, you look at some of the players you played with. You know, you could name them all day long. Like even the Irish League players, you know, like absolutely brilliant. And then you look at the ones you played against, absolutely brilliant. And you could sit there and you could name them off and you could say, he was brilliant, he was class, he give you this, he give you that. Like, those boys set the standards in training as well. And I think it'll continue to do so. You know, are we...
Instagram teen accounts have automatic protections for what teens see and who can contact them, plus time management tools. And Instagram will continue adding built-in safety features to help create age-appropriate experiences. Learn more about teen accounts and Instagram's ongoing work to protect teens online at instagram.com/teen accounts.
Used to drag me off the training pitch. Even as a 30-year-old, I would stay behind every night and stay for an extra hour if I could.
Yeah.
Now these days as well, the young boys, like it's, you know, got to get in, got to get showered, got to get recovery, got to get my protein shakes, got to get this, that.
Stats tell me I've done too much.
Stats tell me I've done too much.
Balls in case of injuries. And
whereas I want to see, like, I enjoy more the technical side of it. I want to see boys getting at people and running at them.
Yeah.
Like, where's the wingers these days that are driving at people, like taking people on? Like, where's the centre forwards that are now like battering centre halves? Like, I know you're a Liverpool fan, you know, and Van Dijk, everyone talks about how great he is, and he is. He's phenomenal. I'd love to have seen him 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yes, where he had somebody constantly.
The players, like the technical ability of the players.
Yeah.
Now, these boys are all athletes. They're so quick, they're so strong. Like, they all look $1 million. Like, they all take such good care of themselves. But are any of them superstars? Are any of them kind of, like, any off the edge of your seat?
So when you think about the caliber of centre forward 20 years ago compared to now, not even close.
Not even close. Not even close. Like, a few examples. Christoph Dugar played for Birmingham in the Premiership. Like, if he was playing now, he'd be probably one of the best players in the Premiership.
Yeah.
Comfortably. Yeah. Like, that's one. Roque Santa Cruz at Blackburn.
What a player, by the way.
What a player.
Such a throwback.
That's what I'm saying. But like these are the boys that I was looking at. Like, even the likes of Carlton Cole.
Yeah.
Carlton Cole was unbelievable. So big, so strong, so quick. Like, you're looking at the boys now. Take Harry Kane out of the equation.
Yeah, what have you really...
Yeah, and those boys were a million miles ahead of them. Even the English boys, Fowler, Ian Wright, you know, Shearer, Owen, like, all them boys, like, they were absolutely phenomenal. Like, you're looking at it now and you're going, right, take Harry Kane out of it. Who we got? There's no real kind of superstar anymore. Like, back then you had 7 or 8 of them. Like, every team had 2 centre forwards.
Yeah, you had to have competition, should I say.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, City have Holland. That's about it.
Yeah. But they had 2 centre forwards. And then they had 2 or 3 on the bench as well that were coming through that were brilliant.
Yeah.
So, like, you're looking at all that and you're going, like, there's one kind of point man now when you're going, everyone wants to be Haaland. Like, the discipline that man has is phenomenal. Like, to just sit there and go, I'm not getting involved in anything.
Yeah.
But if the ball comes in the box, I'll be there.
Ready to go, yeah.
Ready to go. I look at him and go, I would be so bored playing in that team.
That's where I would end up, where Harry Kane is, and you end up getting the ball off your centre half to try and get a touch.
I'll tell you who would have as well is Rooney. Rooney would not have played like that as well.
Sure, he started dropping the midfield and stuff at the end of his career.
He was light years ahead of everybody. Yeah. So good, so big, so strong. But he was another one. Yeah. Play him anywhere on the pitch, you'd be the best. You could even put him in goals and you'd be the best keeper.
You know he's diving.
Oh, he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
What are you doing now? What's next? Are you going to coach? Are you interested in football at all? You enjoying retirement?
I'm enjoying retirement. Like, I love getting up and watching a game every now and again. I have 2 young kids now, and obviously I want to spend as much time with them as possible. Dealing with people like me and you, week in and week out, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you know what it is? They're probably a little bit worse now, a little bit prima donna. You know, my little brother there, you say he played football, and I listen to him and the way he talks and the way he goes on, I'm like, I'd slap the head off you if you go and make change moves.
Yeah, I'd have to deal with that.
Yeah, well, you'd go in there and one of them would say something back to you and you'd go to give him a slap or you'd go to grab him. But it's all changed now.
Yeah.
And like I say, you miss that side of the football. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, 2 young kids. Like, I manage a gym there where I am down in just outside of Drogheda there. kids are happy there every weekend. You know, I'm at gymnastics and he's starting to play a little bit of football now. So
nice.
Everyone keeps telling me as well, as he starts to get in there, oh, you'll coach. The way I work with my wife is I'm kind of not there in the evening times. So as much as I want to go in and give him the best chance to coach him and give him a little bit of advice and stuff, I also kind of want to sit back and be dad.
Yeah, enjoy it. Yeah.
I want to sit back and drink my coffee and sit in the corner, put the hoodie up and just go, like, just let me sit there and watch him.
Mm-hmm.
Let me enjoy this moment. You know, I don't want him sitting there going, oh, my dad's giving out me again, or my dad's expecting this, or my dad wants me to do this. I don't want any of that stuff. I want to sit there and go, yeah, that's my dad. I can have a bit of crack with him on the way home. He can tell me if I did well or if I did good or this, that, and the other. But away from it, I'm going to be able to sit there and go, oh, that's my dad. He's a bit of crack. He's not my boss. He's not telling me what to do. So I don't want to have that relationship. But then again, as well, if I want to try and give him a little bit of advice as well, I want to kind of go, come on, put the boots on in the back garden, have a kick around.
100%.
So I'm trying to find that balance as well. So I kind of toy with the idea of going into coaching. I'd love to go in with, say, likes of Andy Coleman, great lad, and Foley. Yeah. If them two went in coaching together, I wouldn't go in as a coach. I'd go in as maybe the one that would go in and have a bit of crack with the lads and kind of be the link in between.
Yeah, I call that the Tim McCann role. He does it the best. Yeah. Tim, he does it the best.
We had Windy Miller.
Yes.
Exactly. Greatest bloke in the world.
Yeah.
Funniest man in the world. Like, we had like young Nigel there, Nigel Law. He was the technical one, little coach. And Gaz was brilliant. So we had that at Glenavon. But I'd want to be like kind of windy. I'd want to be going and having the crack with the lads, going in, having the slag and telling stories.
A bit of session on.
But a wee bit of
in between.
Yeah, take the strikers away, have a bit of crack with the strikers, and then
when somebody needs a wee arm round.
That's what I'd like to do, yeah. Go tell him when he was struggling, listen, you're the greatest footballer ever.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? If you make a mistake, it's fine. Get on to the next one.
Yeah.
We had Alan Irvine, brilliant coach. He went with David Moyes everywhere. He was one of my coaches at Newcastle growing up as well. And if he hammered you, and by when he hammered you, you were hammered. You stayed hammered. But he always said, if I hammer you to that extent, when you played a 5-yard pass, and it was a good 5-yard pass, you felt like it was the greatest 5-yard pass in the world. He drove you down to elevate you back up so high. And could I do that? I would probably just end up messing around with the lads and having them, trying to get them to that level where they were confident and happy. And that's where
and that's your way to manage people.
Yeah, that is, even in my place in the gym, I'm kind of walking, I'm teaching spin classes and this and the other. I'm like, well, how's everyone? Your good weekend? Any stories for me? Having a bit of crack.
You're having fun that I'm in the house.
Yeah. I'm in the house there watching the kids and this and the other. So I'm trying to have a bit of crack with them. And when it's time to work, bump, we're switched on.
Yeah, I get you.
And could I bring that kind of style into management? I'd probably have to go and do my badges again and stuff like that. But I feel like
experience brings you more than the actual certificate,
I feel like that would be more important than having something that says, there's I completed my badges. Yeah, I played at an okay level. I did quite well. I won a league with Drogheda. I won an Irish Cup. I'm very, very proud of that. Great experiences. But the everyday that you had in there with them, what worked for people, what way people reacted to criticism, to getting hammered, to the arm around the shoulder. I think that's the way forward. No? I think that's the better part of football. I think that's where you will get a better reaction from your players.
100%. I agree. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. And we always finish on hugs. That's the best part of it, isn't it?
That's it. Mate, I was just saying, thank you very much. Cheers.
Oh, thank you. Man, I really enjoyed that. And thank you for driving off from the draw. Man, it's not around the corner.
Listen, it's no bother at all. It's the first one I've done. It'll probably be the only one I'll ever do.
Here, when once one's out on this platform, you're all good.
That's it all.
Join us next week on the On the Spot Football Podcast for yet another fantastic guest. And thank you so much to tonight's episode sponsor. It's been an absolute pleasure. See you soon.